Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Korky, and this is our final roundup of AFC Richmond in Football Manager 2024. We have left the job at the end of the 3 year run, and we've now fast forwarded 10 years into the future to see how the club has progressed since we've resigned. We were going to start, we'll have a quick look at the club here. You may notice in the trophies there, we'll come back to that in just a minute. We're going to have a quick look generally how they've done. As you can see, it's not been great over the years now for Richmond. It's been, we finished first, won the Premier League. We then finished in 12th place where we resigned. The club did shoot up to fourth, got back in the Champions League, finished then in sixth the year after, finished in 11th 3 years in a row. Dropped down to 16th, remained 16th the following year, finished then in 18th place in the 33-34 season, where they were then obviously relegated to the Championship. They then came back up. They won promotion then, winning the Championship, and in the season just past, as we'll show now, they have finished in 12th position as well. So they've kind of come full circle as to where we left off. In the season just past, they have finished in the gone out in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup to Liverpool, and the Carabao Cup they've gone out in the fourth round to Brighton and Hove Albion. So that is the club in general. We'll have a quick look at the best 11 to see. It is still, I mean, it is still an 11 that I had selected during my time there. We'll have a quick look at the records to see what's going here. We see Jamie Tart is the club's all-time top goal scorer with 128 goals. Most appearances by Declan Coburn. Most goals in the season by Jamie Tart. Highest average ratings, Sam Obisanya. Youngest player still Lewis Cook. Oldest player still Zava. Fastest goal Colin Hughes. That was after I resigned. Having a quick look through here. Most clean sheets, Thierry Zorro. Still youngest goal scorer is Matthew Cook at 17 years. Let me see here. Looking through some of the, obviously the highest league position was first whenever we won the Premier League. A lot of other records have changed since my time as well there. So that's good to see that they've made some progress there. The highest transfer fee is still the 50.4 million that we paid for Ousmane Diomande. So no, that's fine. We'll get a look and see in terms of the managers who's come and gone after my time. Obviously, I spent 3 years there. If we look and see, after I left, Unai Emery was brought in. He joined in July and was sacked then. He joined in July 2026, was sacked in January 2028, lasting about a year and a half, give or take. After he left, then Zinedine Zidane was brought in, so that's a big name to come in. He did not last very long at all. He came in at the end of May. He was sacked in November. Again, there was a caretaker in charge, and then Gerardo Sione, I'm not sure the pronunciation of that. He came in. As you see there, he did win the UEFA Cup, I was going to say, the Europa League. We'll have a little look at that in, what year was that? 2028-29, beat Borussia Mönchengladbach in the final of that. So the second major European honour they have there was won by him. He was sacked in May of 2030, or in November of 2030. And Ariel Stenner was brought in then. He lasted a year and 8 days in the job, was also sacked in November. November seems to be a common theme here with sackings. He lasted a year. Xabi Alonso was brought in. He lasted a year, 158 days. He was also sacked again in November. Another caretaker manager filled in, and then Miguel Angel Ramirez came in. And you may notice that he was in charge of the club when they were relegated. He took charge in December, so he had a good 6 months in charge of the club. They were relegated. They kept faith with him, and he brought them straight back up by winning the championship. A quick look at the players, and we'll see of the players that were at the club during my time. Emmy Cook is still there yet. He's battling on. We'll have a look down through the squad. Arda Güler. Emmy Cook is the only original player that I had. It's still there. Arda Güler is the only player that I signed who is still there as well. As we see there, playing 331 appearances now for the club. He's 31 years of age. I believe he is captain. We'll check that in a little second. We also did bring in Marcus Leonardo on loan. As you'll see, he returned to Man United for 3 more years before joining Crystal Palace on loan eventually permanently. Spent a few years there before joining Richmond for 20.5 million. He is due to move on now. He will be joining Internacional. It doesn't say for how much here. At the end of his contract. So his contract is finishing and he's moving on for free transfer. He is 33 years of age as well. So that is understandable. That is the players that are currently in the squad. As we see, there are only one of my original players, 2 of the players that I managed are still there. Let's get a look at the transfer history, and as we'll look and see, the year after we left, Richmond didn't bring in anybody. They also didn't actually sell anybody, but a number of players going out on loan there. We'll skip forward to the following year. Again, only loans outgoing. Luka Jovic did leave at the end of his contract. He joined Al Wahda in Saudi Arabia, I believe. The following year, again, Richmond didn't sign any players, but they did release a number of players again. Bakrande, who never really got an opportunity with us, he joined Bournemouth on a free transfer at the end of his contract. Tiernan McDaid then joined Middlesbrough for 1.9 up to 2.9 million. He has gone on to join Bristol City via Preston and via Coventry as well. Ian Scott went out on loan. Cal McDaid went out on loan. Emma Cook gone out on loan. Ian Scott then did leave to join Norwich. He had a year at Lincoln, and at the end of that season joined Norwich for 700,000, where he has remained throughout the rest of his career. He's 31 years of age now as well. Lawrence McDaid has also gone out on loan there as well. The following year, Richmond did bring in a few players. They brought in 3 players who Almiron has moved on to Bayern Munich, Elizondo has moved on to Southampton, and Cabana is still at the club. A few more players outgoing. Callum McDaid has joined Man United for 5.75 million, where he has remained so far. He is now 30 years of age. Mo Bumbercatch joined Al Hilal for, I think it was 86. I'll go back and check that in a second. He was there for 2 seasons before joining RB Leipzig, where he spent another 3 years before he retired. It was for 76 million. Yeah, a few more players out on loan, nothing really of note there. Richard Montlar then in 2030-31 left to join Marseille at the end of his contract. He was there for 2 years before he retired. Emma Cook gone out on loan. James Prisek then on loan. Danny Rojas left for RB Leipzig for he was there for 3 years, played 50 games, scored 4 goals, didn't really contribute an awful lot. He is now retired as well. He left for 5.5 million. Arlo Dixon moved to Brighton then for 7.25 million. Spent a year there, joined Toronto on a free transfer, and spent 3 years there before he retired. He is now a coach, currently unemployed. And then Matty Cook joined Man United as well for 7.5 million. Eventually spent a year on loan at Brighton and then made that move permanent for 29 million as well. The following year, more players outgoing. Thierry Zorro left for Middlesbrough on a free transfer. He then moved to Al Wahda as well for 4.5 million before he retired. He is now a director of football, currently unemployed. Jack Dawkins joined the enemy. He went to West Ham for 19.75 million. Played 19 games across 2 seasons before he retired. We have Jamie Tart is the biggest outgoing transfer, as we'll see. He stayed Richmond for a number of years. He joined Atletico at the start of the 31-32 seasons for 86 million. Continued to score an awful lot of goals. His 451 appearances, 192 goals in his career. And as we see here, he is now retiring at the end of the current season. Played 78 times for England, scored 38 goals. He has also been transfer listed as well. He's no longer required. He is also 36 years of age, so understandable. Eric Garcia, who we brought in, of course, for 11 million. He joined Inter Milan for 25 million. Has moved on since to Damac for 14 million as well. Who else we got here? Tom O'Brien has joined Leeds on a permanent move as well for 7.25 million, where he has become first choice goalkeeper for them. That is it for that season from our own players. The following year, none of our own players actually left. And the year after that, we have our promising young centre back, Harry Usher, now 28 years of age. He joined Aston Villa for 57 million, which is an incredible transfer fee. He's played 74 times for Northern Ireland as well. Looks to be playing at left back, but is a centre back naturally. After Harry Usher left, then James Prisek has also moved on. He has joined Matty Cook at Brighton for 11.25 million, where he's played fairly regular. In fact, he would be a regular in the team. Chris Root, then, a promising young goalkeeper, he has joined Watford for 8.75 million, spent 2 years there, and has now joined Middlesbrough for 2.6 million as well. Moving on to the following season, we have Lewis Cook has also gone to Aston Villa to join up with Harry Usher. He joined them for 31 million, spent a year on loan with Wolves, and is now about to join Wolves on a permanent fee, or a permanent transfer for a fee of 43.5 million. Diamande, of course, we brought him in from Sporting CP. He joined Inter Milan for 42.5 million. We did buy him for 50 million, so they've club have made a little bit of a loss there, but looking at the year's service that he provided, it's not really that much of a loss. Samu Bisanya, he joined PSG for 28.5 million just 2 seasons ago. And his contract is due to expire now shortly as well. A lot of clubs are interested in him. He has also been transfer listed as well, for a year now as well. And the final outgoing bit of business from my own players when I was in charge of the club is Lawrence McDade, promising young goalkeeper, now 28 years of age. He has joined Chelsea for 18.25 million. And that is pretty much it. If we go back to the overview here, as we see in the club's history, they've won Premier League title, which I won. One UEFA Cup, which I won. Second UEFA Cup, which was won by, I want to say, Sione, I think it was. And Miguel Ramirez won the Sky Bet Championship just last season to bring them back up to the Premiership. So that is it for the final roundup of the Life After Lasso season. We'll just have a quick look at the Premier League history since we won it. As you'll see, Liverpool did win the league the year that in our third season when we finished 12th. Man City won 2 league titles. Chelsea won another league title. Man City then went on and won another 6 league titles, and that has been beaten this season by Spurs winning the league, which as a Spurs fan I am obviously delighted to see that. Middlesbrough have qualified for the Champions League next season by virtue of winning the Europa League as well. So that is it. That is the final roundup. This is the end of Life After Lasso for FM24. I do hope you've enjoyed it. As always, please do like, share, subscribe, leave your comments. We would love to know how you're getting on with your AFC Richmond game, what success you have had, and what's your biggest transfer, what's all the records. I would love to hear everything about your AFC Richmond game. That is it for this episode. That is it for this season. We will be back with more content on the channel. We're looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much until then, and take care. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback as well. You can check out one of these recommended videos. We will see you in the next one. Thank you and take care.